Hi, good evening. So tonight's discussion is about how should you introduce a speaker and what should be considered in an introduction. So when you are speaking about a speaker, usually you hopefully know what who the speaker is and what they're speaking about. Speech introductions are often afterthought and hastily done sometimes by people who really don't know the speaker. So that is kind of a con towards, for the speaker. You want to make sure that whoever is speaking and introducing the person, that they know what topics they're addressing and what they represent. You also want to make sure, and it's really critical that and successful for your speech that you have a strong speech opening. You want to make sure that you're able to establish the speaker's credibility. You want to make sure that that's strong, and it's very vital for the speech to be effective on your speaker. On your audience. You also want to make sure that what you're saying is truthful and honest as much as possible. You want to make sure that what you're speaking gives the introduction to prepare the audience and get them excited for what's coming up. So for the speaker, to make sure you kind of like pump up the audience for the speaker. You want to make sure that you speak about the topic that they're saying and what's important to the speaker, and pretty much why they're qualified to even say or speak at that time. You want to address any questions that the audience may have. You also want to make sure that you reinforce the speaker's credibility. That's like the number one thing, is to make sure that you do that you reinforce their credibility. You want to make sure that you're always careful of what you say, because sometimes you do say things that kind of make your audience doubt you, but that's why it's always good to have everything. You want to minimize and memorize your notes. You want to be able to speak offhand. You don't want to have to be reading from cards and stuttering and going over what and repeating yourself and stuff like that. You want to be able to be positive and enthusiastic. You want to make sure you're, like I told you earlier, you want to pump up your audience. You want to take cues from the audience to see if they're feeling your speech, if they're coming in and gravitating towards your speech, and that way you're grabbing a hold of the audience so that they're ready for the speaker. You want to make sure that you know the speaker, that you feel comfortable saying what you're saying, and that you believe what you're saying, because people can hear it in your words, the way that you're saying it. So if you're kind of like, oh yeah, this is the speaker, then they're kind of like won't gravitate towards you. But if you're like come out strong and you come out memorizing all your speech and what you're saying about the speaker, it should be a pretty good speech. You want to eliminate pronunciation blunders, like not being able to pronounce their name or pronouncing something in the speech that they're representing. You want to make sure that everything is free flowing and easygoing, and you want to be accurate. You don't want to alter the speech title, and you don't want to put humor into it. You don't want to make it seem like it's a joke, and pretty much just give an outline of the speech that he's going to be giving, he or she, and just stick to the relevant information that is pertinent to your speech and their speech. And pretty much that is it. Thank you.